Hi there, it's Russell here from Branding Lab, and I would just like to discuss wireframes and talk a bit about them. A lot of the time, I get clients that when I ask them about when I discuss wireframes with them, they're not really sure what exactly what we mean. And the reason is because I think a lot of time clients have previously worked with website designers who work in WordPress or work in Wix or even in a template in Webflow, for example, a template like this. So what will sorry a template like this. So what a designer will do when they're working with a template, this is a pre-made template, and basically they will show you the look and feel of a template. This is set up ready as a template, and then based on what your brand is, this would obviously be for a service garage. They would work with your brand, taking your brand look and feel and applying your information to this template, which is fine. It's basically an idea. Everyone uses it. I used to use it. I still sometimes use it. But if you were working like this, if you are working like this, you wouldn't have had a wireframe. You wouldn't have been given a wireframe. Now, why do we use wireframes? So we use wireframes when the clients when we've discussed with the client to give them a custom design site. A custom design site means that we will build it from the ground up, and every part of that the site will be designed, will be uniquely designed, bespoke, and in order to achieve that, we will design a wireframe. Now, there's two aspects to a wireframe, or what's called low fidelity and high fidelity. So, for example, if you look at, I've just given some ideas of wireframes over here. We will start off in a purely black and white wireframe, or like black and white wireframe or something like this. And the reason why we do it is because for a start, when we do a wireframe of the site, and literally we'll do a wireframe of every single page of a site, from the landing page to all the sub pages. And the idea is we want to firstly show and give the client a understanding of how all the content is populated on the site, and we also want to, and how it's laid out on each page, and we also want to do it without influencing um, the viewer, the user, the client as much as possible. And once you start introducing colors and fonts and everything like that, and images, those all have an effect on a person, on your decision making. So the low fidelity wireframe, the idea is to literally, as it says, a wireframe. It's just a wireframe in terms of you're showing an image here, you're showing a headline, you're showing the text, um, and how it's going to be laid out. Now, a lot of the time, clients will say to us, "Why aren't you repeating yourself? Why aren't you like making more work for yourself?" And the reality is actually saving time is because if you you are able to find all the pain points, all the issues at this stage, you're saving yourself a lot of time going ahead in the next stage. So it's almost like an architect. The architect will have he'll have his blueprints, and you get the blueprints right, then the building's going to look right. If you get the blueprints wrong, you're going to obviously have problems later. So once we've done the wireframe and the low fidelity, and we will go through it with the clients, etc. We will, and they're happy. We then move to something that is more high fidelity, which is when we start putting in the color. So, for example, this is a website that we worked on, and we start putting in the actual images, the actual text, actual backgrounds, actual colors, and this is what we do. And obviously, we'll take the client through to the next stage of the wireframe in terms of how it looks with color. the color palette we're using, the images that we'll be using, and the fonts, etc. And this will give you the client a good idea of as close to possible as what the site is going to look like when it's built. And as I said, the advantage is that it gives a good idea in terms of any changes that need to be made, or you can make those decisions over here. And our job is then to take the wireframes, the high fidelity wireframes, and then to build the site, which we do in Webflow, and it will be as close to a wireframe and probably even better than the actual wireframe, because once we're into Webflow, we're able to add the effects in that. And Webflow, we use Figma over here. This is what I'm showing you is Figma and Webflow sync together. So we're literally able to migrate the wireframes to Webflow. What you can also do with Figma is even prototype the site and show exactly how buttons will look when you or how they will work when you click on them, which page it goes to. And although wireframing can even cost a lot of money, it's worth spending the money at this point. And it is an upfront cost, but it is at the end of the day, it is a saving, because once you move to the actual site build, and if you want to change things over there, that's a lot more expensive, because there you're really dealing with the site and with code and that, and it's harder to go back. So, as I said, you got one scenario where you got your template. So, as you said, you got one scenario where you got your template, and in this case, your the designer is actually like called flipping websites. Is they're just going to work with a template, and they're going to take this content and make it relevant to your site. And the other one is where the goal is to um, build a bespoke website. You will be paying more money for it, but you're going to be getting exactly what you want in terms of your brand, your look and feel, customer journey, etc. No limitations by any themes. You'll be able to get exactly what you want.